Welcome back to The Reset. I am Sean Tucker, human performance scientist and authority architect. We are here in the living lab documenting the science, the struggle, and the shift for every high-performance dad and founder who's ready to bridge the gap between their ambition and their presence. You're too comfortable. Why not let yourself become uncomfortable, because that is exactly where growth happens. And I'm not talking about comfort as in security. What I'm talking about is comfort in everything else. The way that you sleep, the way that you sit, the way that you show up, the way that you'll default to what's comfortable. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't know already, comfort is the killer of your ambition. And you probably already know that because you're listening to this podcast, which means you're probably one of those high performance dads or founders who really does care about this. Comfort isn't in what you do. It's how you are. It's how intense you are. It's how you show up. It's how involved you are with life. And if you're sitting there and you're becoming less and less involved, I've been there. I'm sure you've been there many times too. And you just want to clock out. It's not how it works. The idea is you want to become more conscious. And I think there's this misconception in the world of business, in the world of performance, versus what it actually means. The misconception is that performance, or in business, success means that they've done it consciously. Success means they did it intentionally. It happened because they wanted it to happen. But in actual fact, it's not 100% true. Because the more, intense you are, the more involved you are. It's very different to becoming very habitual and measuring everything. The person who's more involved is most likely more joyful. The person who is more habitual and habituated and quote unquote maybe more successful from a measuring standpoint, they've made more money. Well, see, the thing is, you can do that by becoming more and more unconscious. You can do that through survival mechanisms, which, on the other hand, if you're becoming more involved, there's no real habit. There's no real structure. There are still cycles that happen. Don't get me wrong. But end of the day, you show up differently every single moment. It's not about getting to that moment and performing a little bit better and getting more rehearsed, more productive, more, habitual to that task. Because the more you do that, yes, in one direction, the easier it's going to become. But in the other direction, the less conscious you will actually become. Have you ever walked into a supermarket and someone greets you and says, "Hello, how can I help you?" Or, "Hello, nice to see you. How are you today?" You can tell by the tone and by the level of involvement of them actually being present with you as the customer. They're somewhere else, right? Whereas you come across someone who is involved, someone who is actually there, ready to help you, someone who is genuinely curious about you as the customer. It completely changes your customer experience. It not only completely changes it, it changes it for the better. Sometimes it's for the worse because you help them realize just how miserable they are. And that's okay, because I suppose it's all about becoming more involved and becoming more present. Whereas someone who's more rehearsed in performing, they can put on a really strong face and say the same thing again and again and again to the point where it's subconscious, right? They just do it. It's the level of training that they fall to. But is that person really there? Can that person actually exude joy in this moment? It's interesting. Because for me, what I'm seeking, what I'm attaining is that sense of presence, that sense of being joyful, that sense of being uncomfortable, but being conscious of it. Moving forward and doing the things that I'm afraid to do and doing my best to be conscious through them. So be present, being absolutely there. In a way, you kind of let things happen, but you're there. And you're doing your best to respond to what's happening. So, yeah, get uncomfortable. Learn how to become more uncomfortable, because that is where growth happens. And do it in a way where you're becoming more conscious. Practice becoming involved, not less involved. Because the more involved you become, the more joy you will exude, and the happier you will be. The more successful you'll feel, regardless of the external metrics. That's what we're all seeking, I think. And if you're on that journey, keep following. Make sure you like and subscribe. And be sure to share it with one friend if you found it valuable. So that brings us to the end of this episode of The Reset. If you're ready to stop being a passenger and start being the architect of your legacy, make sure you comment the word reset and I'll send you the 7-day integrity reset. Remember that most people wait for their life to change. We are the ones who architect our choices. Change your state. Choose how you show up. I am Sean Tucker. I will see you in the next one.